do you think the leaders are born or made?
It can be a combo for sure, but if they are not born, they definitely can be made. And leadership is the ability to really move forward and not move forward alone. My name is Wes Saber. I'm the CFO of Haribo America, the largest gummy brand in the world.
What is leadership for you?
Leadership for me is the ability to influence positively others by shaping their thoughts, by shaping their priorities. Leaders need to set the environment and open the door all the time proactively. And doing that by doing it themselves. Because in business, we don't do business to make people just happy. We just want to make people successful too. And with transparent environment and open communication, we can do that. If something is not working, it's a problem of the leader. If you tell him this is not working and he doesn't want to listen, that's not my problem or your problem or our audience's problem. That's the leader's problem.
Please hit subscribe to the show and leave a review or comment about how you find this episode. I am so excited to have you, and I'm so looking forward for this discussion. But let's start first. What are these events that have shaped you into the person who you are today?
I was fortunate to grow in a big family with 5 siblings, and a family that is predominantly engaged in training and working with the blue collar and the glassware. So I'm learning from my grandfather and my father, and grew up with my grandma. I think the family value of respect and loyalty and ownership towards the rest of the family member, not the immediate ones, but all across. And the family would extend to as well other people who are very important part of our life, whether at work or neighborhood. Really shaped me who I am today, growing in a network of people, full of emotion, full of success, full of high achievements, low points, and really growing as well and living in different countries. So learned a lot about different culture and built a little bit of tolerance of understanding different culture, the sense of humor, the influence, and how to share happy moment and the tough moment as well. And that's really very important for me as well, to take it to my kids and my family, and I cherish that forever.
What a great story. Heartwarming, actually. So do you think the leaders are born or made?
I would say actually it would be definitely, it can be a combo for sure. But if they are not born, they definitely can be made. And I think it is important. The very important point is the desire of what leadership means. Leadership can mean different things for each one of us, because leadership can be at work, which means a senior job, and leadership can be something else for the family and guiding what the family means, even in the immediate family or the bigger family. And leadership as well goes to friendship, goes to sports. Leadership has a wide definition of what it means. And not all of us are leaders everywhere in every space around us. Definitely as we develop and during education and during our age and during different stages of life, each one of us have kind of desire of leadership. And leadership, it doesn't mean being in the front. Actually, sometimes leadership, you can be in the back. And it can be, and the ultimate leadership style, it can be the servant leadership, which help people around to be successful. So the leader may not be the most successful person actually in the equation, and that takes time until we all realize what it means for us. So opportunity definitely is key, and the space, but having as well mentors and coaches and people who support can help us accelerate that clarity of what leadership means to each one individually. And I was fortunate to be surrounded by great leaders in business or in college or education or sport or friends Sometimes I always learned at early age, especially when I was like, with my grandma telling me all the time, you will be as good as the people around you.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's a
true.
journey because you take each other together to the front. And there is a lot of, as well, and leadership is the ability to really move forward and not move forward alone, move forward with others.
So, what is leadership for you? What does it mean for you?
Leadership for me today, and it took me a long time to get to that point and understanding because during my career as a successful professional, it was really about me doing great, getting promotions like everybody else. Like after college, we all want to enjoy that moment, which is great to learn, acquire new knowledge, new skills, get higher level of seniority as well. But when the first step would become a manager, it's no longer about me as a person, but it's about the team. Because regardless how much knowledge I would have, no one person would have all the knowledge necessary for success. So really, leadership for me is the ability to influence positively others by shaping their thoughts, by shaping their priorities, and having a common understanding of what success looks like, and most importantly, a commitment to deliver. Go through that journey of good times and tough times alike.
And when you were growing up and you started working, was it a goal for you to become a leader one day? You spoke about desire. So did you have this desire from the beginning of your career, or you developed it later?
Very transparent at the beginning, like everybody else. We go out of college, you want to conquer the world, and you want to be the best. That's normal, and that's great. Definitely, I wanted, but by the time, I think it was 3 stages. At the beginning, yes, I want to be a leader, but I want to be, and leader for me was like being a CEO or a general manager
Yeah.
or a CFO. And during the mid-career, actually, I wanted to be the most successful in what I do. So I didn't want to change jobs or accept another job or apply for another job unless I'm going to be the best in it. And that's actually a very important step to be a very successful leader, because without you being a role model in what you do, you can't lead anyone. Can't even lead yourself. And that was really at the middle of my career. And by the time growing in my career is, you will gotta understand how to be a leader of leaders, actually. And being a manager of a manager, and actually leading with authority as well is key, because sometimes it was like for us, for everybody, including myself, of course, leader means managing others, which is fine, but actually leading without authority, needing people who doesn't necessarily report to you or even in your team is key for your success and everybody's success. So the definition of what it means has been evolving. And the more you grow, the more you mature, and the more you have bigger influence, and the span of influence goes bigger. And it goes bigger not because you have more direct reports necessarily. Because today, like a general manager of a company, or a manager of a department, or a manager of one person, you can have a super effective leader managing one person versus a person managing a big company, because that person has a clear impact on people side, organization side, and business side.
Great points you're making here. And while we're talking about leadership and qualities, what do you think are the key qualities people need to develop to become great leaders?
There is no like secret recipe that being sold anywhere for anyone, but if I would share some of my experience and advice, and there are a lot of models, I may share some of the key competency that are very common in leadership architecture globally. One of them is breakthrough thinking. And for us to practice breakthrough thinking, there are certain competency that we need to develop, being something like developing strategic agility, being able to manage day-to-day work, what's going to happen next month, but being able to understand what success looks like 5 years from now as well. So strategic agility is clear, and breakthrough thinking, it doesn't mean like the IQ is at the highest, but the ability to manage and facilitate that process for the person, for the leader, and the people around. Like I said earlier, it's not only about the knowledge the leader has, but it's about the knowledge that exists in the business and the knowledge the business needs to acquire. So breakthrough thinking definitely is one, and driving for results. A leader without results is not going to be an effective leader, and people need to see success. So a leader need to be able to manage performance, be able to measure and manage work and promote performance, and being able to set milestones and being able to show people success and celebrate and recognize the steps and think about like a train station. So there's a train station of success. Every station, there is a stop. People know what success looks like. So that's important for people to be able to drive results themselves and continue a journey with the team. Building effective team. You can build a team, but if it's not an effective team, it's an issue. Definitely engaging other. Engagement has been always at the core of successful leadership. A leader who doesn't have an engaged team doesn't have really long-term success. Neither the team nor the leader. Engaged organization tend to deliver 5-10% better results than other organization for sure. And when I say developing, building effective team, it means developing talent as well, and the ability to develop talent. Managing organizational complexity is key for a leader, because a leader during complexity need to be able to simplify and articulate in simple words. This is one of the things I was good at the beginning, because I thought like I can do everything on my own, and I share like 100 pieces of information and 10 different ways of doing things. Yes, that's true. But if people doesn't follow you, or you move faster without people, that doesn't help. So navigating complex challenge is key. And making the complex simple is key as well for leadership. And the last thing I want to say is about the leadership architecture, which is really key, is understanding and managing stakeholders as well. And stakeholder doesn't mean the immediate one, but in general, being a functional leader, but being a business leader as well. So having two hats and being able to navigate between being functional leader, whether I'm in marketing, or I'm in sales, or in finance. I can be the expert in this, but as well, I have a business hat and I understand what this means to others. And this is really key for successful leaders.
Great points. And I just want to go back to what you said. And you said that the leaders have to lead themselves first. So I have this theory that to be a good leader, you first of all have to be a good person and an expert. And you also said that because leadership reflects what you feel and all your values, right? You be self-aware and lead yourself. Ability to lead yourself is very important also, right?
Absolutely. And like I said, I mentioned like being a servant leader is the best leadership style. And if people are not able to speak to the leader with confidence and trust and have the safety space to talk to the leader or a manager or a boss, and a leader doesn't need to be a manager or a boss. A leader can be a leader of the household, the leader of a sports team. Like I said, if the leader doesn't have the active listening skills, the patience to listen to others and internalize what people want to say and understand and show compassion as well. But as well being the thinking partner of the other person. Because a leader sometimes is like, leadership doesn't mean I know the answer. Because a leader can be a coach, but a leader can be a mentor. A leader can be a thinking partner. I'm sure we all heard about situational leadership. It depends. But it's not like a leader, like one style fits all, because we're human and work with humans. And like I said, we work with so many number of people. So the ability of the leader to adapt and have good people agility and work with others and communicate with others effectively is important. And the leader must be humble and should be the first to acknowledge what's not working and when we need to stop and say that what I said is not working, or it's not good enough, or let's think again about other options. So really leading by example as well, and being humble is key to open the door for other leaders. It doesn't work all the time as well because it comes with the job, but always try to be authentic.
Yeah. Well, it's not that easy for somebody who is senior to say, well, I don't know everything and I don't have all the answers, or to admit, well, I was wrong. How do you cultivate this? Just to be able to say it, because I've seen many people who understand it very well, but they really can't say it because they think they're going to present themselves as vulnerable, and then everybody is going to kind of see that they're not worthy of it.
Absolutely. Let's say I will even give you an example. So I'm the CFO today. Whether I'm a good leader or I'm a good listener or a good person or people like me or trust me or not, I'm still the CFO. If somebody overspent in a budget or made a mistake, it is very hard for that person to come and tell me, hey, Wes, I made a mistake. Some people will, some people will not. It's very uncomfortable, right? Or we overspend. But actually, this is where leaders need to set the environment and open the door all the time proactively. And doing that by doing it themselves. So when people see the leader act that way, they will follow. And you set the tone of the communication and the transparency. I know, but if the leader doesn't do that, I encourage everybody else to really take the first step of being a good leader and influence the leader that they think maybe not listening or will not like it. Because in business, we don't do business to make people just happy. We just want to make people successful too. And with transparent environment and open communication, we can do that. If something is not working, yeah, it's a problem of the leader. If you tell him this is not working and he doesn't want to listen, that's not my problem or your problem or our audience problem. That's the leader's problem. And we are different humans.
Yeah.
So we got to find maybe a way to keep the communication and the transparency.
Yeah. You had an amazing career. Can you tell us all the key career points?
Sure. I actually now a CFO, but I didn't do my first finance job until like 6-7 years of my career because I did graduate in business and accounting, but I started my career in marketing. I was a brand manager. I did marketing research. I prepared feasibility study. I worked for KPMG Consulting. I did ERP implementations, Oracle and SAP many times. I've worked in innovation. I work as a financial analyst, worked in supply chain. In summary is I always wanted to learn. I always wanted to do something else. I didn't want to be the expert in a specific area only, which is fine. Sometimes we all aspire to be the most knowledgeable and the most competent in a specific area, which is perfect. Nothing wrong with that. But I want to do, if you want to be a people leader as well, you want to build business acumen in general. Even if you want to be a functional leader, you still need to build a business acumen. That doesn't happen unless you do rotation or you work on cross-functional projects or you show interest or even go to meetings or go for training externally or going for a program externally or engaging with the company, even in community work. Keeping the windows open for learning. Life is much bigger than what we do every day, only in a specific job. And really, the interest of doing something else will only make and create a rich experience. Mm-hmm. I don't want to mention a specific job or a specific company because really, the thing I learned across my career is as long as you have perspective in life and perspective in the job. So even if I have an invoice, if the invoice means a vendor and the invoice means product, and what is that product? What is that service? And why is the value this way? And what it was last year and what's going to be next year? And what technology we use to process the invoice? And what is the format of the invoice? And is it changing later? And how we are procuring this? It's just an invoice. Somebody can work on that invoice, whether in accounts payable and process it, or in procurement and procure that, or raise a purchase requisition or a purchase order, or in marketing, actually make the contract with that service. The ability of professional to have that perspective and have more understanding is key for the success.
No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. In my career, I was exactly the same. I tried to learn everything that is for banking. So I've been all over the place apart from investment banking. And at the end of the day, I was the only person who actually knew business and risk. And that's why I became the COO. So see, sometimes you do some steps that nobody understands, only you understand, which actually later on
Yes,
create this amazing future for you.
absolutely.
What other strategies? I mean, that's one strategy that you had. I mean, be curious and wanting to see the big picture of how everything works in a company. What other strategies you have to drive your career?
I think the foundation is you gotta do what you like. Because if you have a job and you don't like, that's no starter. You gotta like the job that you do and you like the people you work with. But other than that, I think trust. If your manager trusts you, if your peers trust you, the sky's the limit. Because when people trust you, a manager trusts you, or the senior person trusts you, or a leader trusts you, that means they will come to you and develop you and work with you. And if your peer trusts you, you're going to have the right environment to operate as well in a very successful. And it's not 100% or a zero. So it's never a zero, it's never 100%. You got to navigate and build and work on that. But really, we are operating these days in an unprecedented and uncharted speed of technological evolvement. I'm not going to say like ChatGPT or AI, but in general, when we talk about AI and machine learning, there are some machine learnings and there is automation in manufacturing that's already there. It's not new. ChatGPT is a kind of like generative AI, like text to speech, but this is not good for business. But large language model is there, and the practice and the application of that is key. The question is why I'm saying this. We need to reinvent and reimagine our role in the future as well, because any advice from the past may not be relevant in the future. So really, the key is being agile. Change agility is key. There's in the people agility, strategic agility, and driver performance is great. But the key competency that's going on top of the list now, across all industry, across all jobs, is change agility. Being able to change and being part of the change, and being a positive force of the change.
I see. And you were speaking about how things are changing with such a fast pace, unprecedented. We've never seen something like this before. How is that changing the career ladder? Is there a career ladder still, or is it dismantling? What is happening? What should people do? Should they plan their career? What are the steps they should do?
Yeah, there is two paths at this point of time, and we can reimagine that. There is like a functional leadership career path, and there is people path as well, and the overlap as well. I think there is some industry that work remote, for example, and it's okay. That business model fits with the remote working, and some of them must be there. So if you're working in a factory or manufacturing or a retail or healthcare, you got to be involved with people. You have to be present. You can't be. But if you work in service or banking or consulting or being on social media or an influencer or something else, that may be different. So leadership, actually, there is more wider spectrum of leadership capability that people need to possess, and nobody need to develop everything, but you need to be laser focused on what success looks like for the individual. And that the compass should be what success looks like for me. If I'm in marketing, I want to be a brand manager, and I want to work for a brand that everybody knows around the world, and I want to understand what's the career path to get there. The first step is I want to work for a company that actually have very strong performance management and training and capability, and more importantly, projects and growing. Because if I work in a company that's maybe not growing, then and I want to develop my career in there, it's going to be difficult. Regardless what's the career ladder or what are the steps, it's going to be a very slow process and may not be the best environment for the person to join. So actually, there is definitely more opportunities in the future for people to do big jobs. There are big companies at this point of time hire very smart graduates with high GPA, but however, they have community involvement, and they have some extracurricular activities that shows their interest in life, which demonstrate their learning agility, for example. And that those people would come in and be on a fast track for 2-3 steps higher in the organization very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. You said something that I completely agree with, have an interest in life. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know about the life and what is happening, and you have no passions and interest outside of what you do at the moment, I mean, how are you going to grow, right? And have a curiosity, even if you're not interested in what is happening around you, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Is this something that you're looking for when you hire people?
When we hire people today, let me split it into two parts. People maybe at the early part of their career and leaders.
Okay.
When we hire people at their early career or mid-career, the number one and the most important thing is the ability of those people to integrate in a high-performing team culture, and their ability to work with others, and the ability to manage conflicts, the ability to have crucial conversation, the ability to make decisions, the ability to able to grow as well, at least two levels up. Because we can't have there are companies that hire a person for that specific job and that's it. But for our company, we're a growing company, so we want to make sure that our organization and our associate can grow with us in the future. So it's key for us that people are coachable and people have as well ambition. For the leadership, however, is we want to hire people who have consistent track record of engaging and successful leadership. People who have great track record of developing talent. And that's key for us. You mentioned, if you remember, I mentioned before about building effective teams and breakthrough thinking. So these are two key areas for us when we hire leaders.
So what is your opinion about future of work? Where is work going? In what direction? Is AI going to take all the jobs?
AI will not take all the jobs, but definitely will change the job profile landscape. So, and I think, like I said, in the manufacturing space, there are businesses, including us as well. We use AGVs or remote guided vehicles. We use robotics, and we have SAP for HANA, CRIM systems. Can have fully automated warehousing that has no people in there. But we need people who are able to manage lifetime solutions, troubleshooting, being able to understand math and understand some statistics, so they can be able to understand decisions and be able to develop decision trees. So maybe today we don't have that education or schools having specific programs on that, but the basics needs to be there, and the individuals that we have in different functions today or in any industry and around the world, they gotta develop and shape their skills to cope with what's coming. I don't think it's going to replace. Actually, it's going to create very exciting opportunities. It may replace definitely repetitive jobs. If somebody is doing a repetitive job in general or transactional job in nature, that might be the prime target of replacement, because there is no much value add, and technology and AI solution can help us scale and manage more transactions more efficiently, faster. So that's where maybe in the next 3 to 5 years, where the job market will be impacted. But at that time, we're going to have more Power BI, more data analytics, and there is difference between the technology and the business acumen. The technology can be there, but the application of the business acumen. I'm not sure if you know, and everyone, the audience know, and I just learned that recently as well, that for AI to work with large language model, you need to feed and teach those learning.
Yeah,
This is a learning model. This is not just a model that conduct work. You just need to teach it. And you need to teach it through schedules and tables. And so you need to have basic understandings of the business data, the statistics of the data, the performance. There is supervised learning model and unsupervised learning model. I think the unsupervised learning model may take years, but the supervised model is already in practice today with big companies and different industries, and that applies to every single function. If that's interesting, maybe a good read. Definitely, there is a lot of free YouTube, free courses. There's free MIT, Harvard courses on that. I think you didn't need to read all of it, but if you spend an hour a day for the next 1 week, maybe 7 hours, I think you're going to get the feel.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And what else should people prepare and learn to fit into the future? As you said, yeah, we have to teach the AI to do the things we want, and we have to teach it properly, right?
Absolutely. I think there is reading. Reading is key. Going to continuous education for us that as leader and everybody is key. So whether the company is providing that or not, I think every individual has to complement that with more reading and more access to understanding in the future as well. I think it's very important to be hands-on. And it's very important to practice as well, not just read, even if it's a small thing. Even if you want to decide for yourself, next month, I'm just going to use Google AI Assistant when I search. I know we all use ChatGPT in general for other things, but let's take it one more level on creating value and adding value in life, for example, like scheduling my trip. I think we just need to mentally be ready. Mm-hmm. That would be my first advice. Mentally to be ready what that means, what that future looks like. Because before that, having basic understanding, it's very difficult for every individual, including myself, to have a clear understanding. And it's not like we are seeking to have 100% clear understanding, but we should make ourselves ready, readiness. So work on our readiness in terms of the journey about to come.
Great. So we are towards the end of the podcast. I could spend another 2 hours with you and have many questions, but we have to finish. And before we finish, can I ask you a couple of quick personal questions? What was the best day in your life?
The best day of my life was actually last Sunday.
Wow.
It was Father's Day. It was the graduation of my daughter from the business school in Chicago here in DePaul. And she was the commencement speaker among thousands of people. And Sally, my wife, and I were very, very proud parents. I don't think I heard the speech well. I heard it so many times after the graduation, but I just tried to manage my tears. But I had my son and my daughter, and I had so many friends around me, and really like seeing my daughter at graduation and giving a speech about what she wanted to do in life, and with her fellow graduate students, and being amongst the parents is a lifetime experience for me. I'll never forget that.
Amazing. And what was the worst day?
The worst day is actually when I lost people I love, and it was very important to my life. That happened to be the past few years, and the past 3 years in specific. So Losing a best friend, losing on my uncle who's my mentor in my entire life, losing somebody who's been with you in the journey of life is hard. It's hard because it's a lost treasure of relationship, emotions, ethos of life, and family and friends. And he was very important for me to develop as an individual and a person who's my role model in life. And I lost that.
And one last, what is one thing we don't know about you?
You don't know
Or
about
very few people, know about you.
Absolutely. So the one that nobody knows maybe about me much is that I'm the most popular dad in my neighborhood. I'm the most popular dad in the college and school because working in candy, working on Mars, working with M&M's, now like within years, really makes me a very popular dad. So I know all the parents, I know all the kids. I enjoy that. We go to soccer. We go to sports, and I think I share that great moment with a lot of my colleagues here at Haribo, and that's the best part that I love about my job. I don't need to explain to people where do you work at Haribo, and then
everybody knows.
That's the best part that really I enjoy about my job.
Every time I travel. When I come home, I buy my kids a bag of Haribo. They like the tropical fruits. And when I told them today, I'm going to have the CFO of Haribo on my podcast, I mean, if I was here in their eyes, I became like here in their eyes, I was like, whoa, really?
That's great. Every year when our brand is trying to bring childlike happiness in all of us, including myself. When we open a bag, that's the moment of bring childlike happiness and create moments of joy for our consumers. So love that. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being so open and showing the personal side of you, telling our personal stories. Thank you so much.
It was an honor to be with you. Thank you.